Our agenda is packed with insightful presentations and groundbreaking ideas. Kicking things off, we have our opening speaker who boasts over decades of experience across entertainment and technology, including roles at Capitol Records, the Walt Disney Company, and Google. With a background in marketing, interactive production, advertising operations, and technology policy, he's now making waves as a consultant in AI safety and policy. Let's give a warm welcome to Scott Pansing.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun today. It's a great crowd. Yes, my name is Scott, and just we already had a little rapid-fire background about me, so I'll just say yes. Interactive production at those companies at the top, advertising operations and policy at Google, specifically YouTube, and Google, specifically not YouTube. I am also on the Dean's Board of Advisors at UCLA Extension. And as we begin our day of discussions on AI's impact on our daily lives and societal issues, I'm honored to be able to share some of my thoughts with you. So the first thought I'll share is that artificial intelligence is largely a marketing term. Okay, so as we go through the day, I suggest we periodically ask ourselves, what technology are we talking about here specifically? Machine learning, maybe natural language processing, image recognition, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about foundation models and generative AI. Now, I'd like to illustrate that AI is a marketing term with this quote from the late computer scientist Larry Tesler. Artificial intelligence is whatever hasn't been done yet. And as tech analyst Benedict Evans puts it, once it works, it's just software, and software is everywhere. So here's a screenshot from my phone of Google Maps. This is how I got here today from Sherman Oaks. Now, 20 years ago, in 2004, if you told people, hey, on your phone, there'll be this illuminated map with this interactive real-time position where you are, and there's this little voice that gives you real-time turn-by-turn directions, a lot of people would say, like, you mean like an AI? And in 2009, Google did introduce turn-by-turn voice directions into Google Maps. And for a hot minute, it was magical, right? It was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And before long, it was just kind of how most of us get around when we don't know where we're going, or when we want to avoid traffic. Switching gears, when I was a little kid, I had a Greek grandmother, and she didn't really speak very much English at all, and I didn't really speak Greek, and we had a great relationship, but we didn't really have any deep conversations. We didn't speak the same language. It doesn't really take a genius to see that we are right around the corner from having like a mass market product where two people who don't speak the same language will be able to sit right across from each other, just pop in their AirPods and tap their phones, and they'll be communicating as if they speak the same language in real time in the same physical space, let alone on a video conference. And I'm not a doctor, but I believe in medicine. Several disease cures are forthcoming due to this current technology revolution. And once these things happen, we won't say this is AI, we'll just call it progress or software. But right now, it does seem like everyone is talking about AI. And ChatGPT, as evidenced by the word bubble there, and foundation models are a big part of that. But is that really all there is to it? Well, I believe the topic is on the lips of so many people day after day after day because we're entering the next chapter in automation. And that brings a lot of excitement and also some anxiety. So what are some examples of things we might consider that might be causing that anxiety? And I saw jobs on the word bubble as well. So since we're here at a university, we'll start with how might the labor market be affected or is already starting to be affected? Automation does displace some existing jobs. That's just the reality. In addition, automation has historically created new sectors of industry and the economy and new types of work, and hopefully that will continue to be the case. Last year, There were several reports by smart people at McKinsey and Goldman Sachs and the World Economic Forum and several other reports. And these offered a lot of great research and insights and projections into the next 5 to 10 years of labor. I encourage everyone to check out these reports. They're fascinating. Spoiler alert, buckle up. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of jobs globally will be affected in some way. Some examples of maybe some areas of relative safety, at least for the next couple years, software development, not surprisingly, but also things like plumbers and electricians, things where at least going to be a little while before robots come out to our house to fix those sorts of things. So another concern with this latest phase of automation and the technology revolution is the environmental impact. This is a photo of a typical data center. Now, every time, honestly, anything we do really has a environmental impact, even just breathing, right? But every time we use the internet, there is a carbon footprint from a data center. Every time you do a Google search or load a web page. What's interesting here is that training models or interacting with foundation models like ChatGPT or running a real-time image recognition application, these things use orders of magnitude more energy than a simple Google search or loading a web page. So there's not only a concern for grid capacity and future planning, but it also has an environmental and a resource cost. This topic is starting to get some media attention. Here are some example articles. There's many more. I'm happy to share these with you. Find me later today. Like I said, you can find many more. And like so many things in life, there are usually trade-offs. I'd like to highlight just a few more. One big trade-off that's been around for a long, long time is the relationship between privacy and security. So here's one fresh example. Drivers of automobiles, especially in America, many of them tend to view the interior of the vehicle as a sacred, private place. There are things you're not supposed to do, drink and drive, not put on your seatbelt, but historically the surveillance of these activities has been outside of the vehicle. There are products coming online right now, cars, shipping that you can buy, that are loaded with a lot of in-cabin sensors, including cameras. And so there are now things happening like, a car alerting you to put your phone down, keep your eyes on the road, or if you left a vehicle and you left an infant in the back. And these things will certainly save lives. But of course, there's a privacy trade-off. For these examples, you might be saying, maybe, well, I won't buy a car like that, or I'll opt out. But these features probably over time will just become standard or mandatory, or maybe your car insurance company will say, hey, we'll lower your premiums if you keep the cameras on inside the vehicle. An example that's probably a little more familiar with privacy and security is facial recognition in public places to reduce crime. But another trade-off I want to talk about, we're here in LA and have to talk about the creative industries. And I mean all the creative industries, not just like graphic design, but writers, performers, artists, pre-production, post-production, production, much more. So creative professionals, many of them, are on the front lines of these trade-offs right now. There are exciting new tools coming online almost every day, and some of them do reduce the more mundane or tedious aspects of some roles and allow for more of the fun stuff. Some reduce the amount of work and earnings that a worker can command. Some eliminate roles altogether. And I'm not even touching on the many court battles and whatnot regarding intellectual property used to create some of these products and how creatives will be compensated. But back to once it works, it's just software. If you consider something like Photoshop, there are features in Photoshop that are just, people use multiple times a day without thinking about them, that were once considered like AI or magic, like the magnetic lasso tool or the magic wand tool. So over time, you just see these things just being incorporated into software. As I wrap up, one last thing to consider about the products that will soon affect our daily lives. If you've been using any of the state-of-the-art foundation model products in the market, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, etc., you can see that the top products are becoming multimodal. They can understand and use various forms of media. ChatGPT understands language. You can use text. Also, the mobile screenshot on the left, you can use your voice. But it can also understand imagery. You can upload images. It'll describe what's in them. It can even generate imagery on its own, like on the right. This is a powerful combination, the ability to communicate with language, as well as understand 2D images and generate them. But there is another mode that's super hot right now, taking off, in general, 3D spatial awareness. These are things like neural radiance fields, Gaussian splatting, Meta's segment anything model, computer vision. In general, the ability to understand where things are in 3D space and to do things like infer what may be out of view or what the other side of an object might look like without actually having that data. Now this multimodal convergence of these three will be wild once it really gets going. And I'm not here to stoke controversy on, maybe other people are, about sentience or some of the doomsday stuff, singularity or emergent properties, artificial general intelligence. Before you even get to those conversations, like this is going to happen. This is happening. And isn't this how we ourselves move through our daily lives and generate mental models of reality? We use language, we understand imagery, we sometimes generate our own imagery creation. We know where we are in 3D space and objects around us. So software, machines, products with this capability will soon be a part of our daily lives. Shout out to Bei Yang. He's at Meta. I met him last year. He broke this down. He probably explained it much better than I am right now. But by the way, there are many more circles coming to this diagram. Their sensors have been deployed more and more over the years. There's a company called, just launched a product called Newton. I believe they're called Archetype AI. And so you can imagine all these cameras and microphones and environmental sensors with what chemicals are in the air. So models will be trained on what do footsteps sound like, a leaky faucet, a car crash, a bullet firing, etc. So I return to there's lots to be excited about and some understandable anxiety. And this to me is responsible AI. Cautious optimism about the future, being excited, while at the same time taking an active role in the many issues that require our attention. So I really look forward to learning a lot today and connecting with a lot of you, and thank you very much for your time. Let's have a lot of fun today.
Wow. Thank you, Scott, for such an amazing start to our summit. Your overview covers AI's influence from the boardrooms to our living rooms, and from global challenges to our daily lives. Thank you for setting such a thought-provoking tone.